Ew, gotta get rid of this old Backstreet Boys t-shirt.
Tell me why.
Because it stinks, boys.
Tell me why.
I've washed it so many times, but the odor won't come out.
Tell me why.
No, you tell me why I can't get rid of this odor.
Have you tried Downy Rinse and Refresh? It doesn't just cover up odors, it helps remove them.
Wow, it worked, guys.
Yeah.
Downy Rinse and Refresh removes more odor in one wash than the leading value detergent in 3 washes. Find it wherever you buy laundry products.
Welcome back to the Potted Together podcast. My name is Becca, and I'm joined by my co-hosts, Adam and Nicole.
Yo. Yo, yo, yo.
Oh my gosh. Today is a rootin' tootin' episode.
Rootin' tootin'.
Where we are going to be discussing everything that is going on in our planty homes. Updates, spring excitement, the works.
Yes.
Yeah, I'm excited. I need to turn off the noise canceling from my headphones. This is going to give me like weird headache vibes.
It feels like pressure, doesn't it?
Yeah, it feels weird to not like you can hear your voice, but you sounds like you're inside of a bucket or something.
Bucket.
So we have already talked for an hour.
Wow. Yikes.
Per usual. I think that was one of our longest catch-ups though. So
yeah, it was.
Whew. So yeah, we have been chit-chatting about trips that we're trying to take this year, what's going on in our personal lives. So it's time to overshare. Who wants to go first?
Well, I really want to hear about Adam's recent trip to Disney. So can we talk about that for just like 2 minutes?
Oh, yeah.
Disneyland. What did you think? Was it better than the world?
Yeah.
Or no?
Yes. I'm 100% a Disneyland. I'll be a Disneyland snob. Yeah.
Ooh. Oh my gosh. That makes me so happy.
It was, I don't even know how to explain how or why, but it was just the vibe. It's just like, it was a better vibe.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So good. Yeah, we had a blast. I think that they're a subscriber of the pod, but I got free tickets to go to Universal Studios, which was unexpected.
So cool.
And that was a blast, and I got to meet her. And you know when you ask somebody how to pronounce their name, and then in your head you're thinking, I'm so stupid for having to ask that, and then they tell you how to pronounce their name, and then you forget how they told you to pronounce their name because you're in your head thinking how awkward you are for having to ask. Aracelia is her name. She was wonderful. She met us at the park. She's a designer for Universal, so it was really, really great to meet her in person. And then Luke, which is Luke Antunes, who is also a friend. I got to meet IRL at Disney World or Disneyland. He spent an entire day with my friend Chrissy and I, so that was really fun to get to meet a planty friend / Disney nerd. But yeah, it was a good time. I Disney bounded every day, which was fun to dress up as characters.
So cool.
Mm-hmm. I love it. It's like Spirit Week for adults.
I know, yeah. So there's these 2 Disney influencers. One of them has a YouTube channel. His name's Patrick Dougal, and his friend Francis, who has an Instagram. And Francis is like vibes. I love Francis. And my friend Chrissy is obsessed with him. So the weirdest thing, the whole time she's like stalking his Instagram to see like if he's in the park. He usually goes like every day. And
like
every
just
day?
like every day, like do they live there?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So he's a mostly Instagram Francis. So like Instagram content, Disney influencer. Anyway, one of the days we decided to take a break, which, haven't normally done, but it was like so worth it because Disneyland's so small. Our hotel was like right outside the entrance. So it was so easy to just like pop to the hotel and take like an hour, 2-hour break. We get to the hotel and I tell Chrissy I'm going to go to the gas station down the street to get some waters, whatever. I call Steve on my walk just to do our catch up and just talk to each other. And I get to a stoplight and I look to my left, and coming across the street is Francis and Patrick. And I am not that big. I mean, I will fanboy, but I don't have the confidence to be like, hey, can I get a photo with you? But I knew that I had to because Chrissy was not with me. She was back in the hotel room. This was the one person she was like really excited to meet. And I was like, she's not going to believe me that I'm literally at a stoplight standing next to these two people. And it was just us there standing. So I asked them for a picture. It was really cool to get to meet them. But then I went back to the hotel room. And I was like, you're going to kill me. And she was like freaking out. And then I showed her the picture and she was just like, she screamed. It was really funny.
Oh, I almost feel bad for her because she didn't get to experience that.
I know. So I did feel bad too, but I was like, I had to get a photo. And so, and then Tony Hawk was in the park, which is so weird. Like we were getting off a ride.
I saw that.
And like he was just there, like leaving with his kids, and he looked miserable. Like he was just like, you know how Disney dads look.
Disney dads, yeah.
But yeah, it was a blast. Got to do everything and see all the things, and yeah, I had so much fun. There are a few things I do want to talk about Disney. First of all, I think we need to stop with the shirts that are like husband and wife, where the wife shirt says blessed or spoiled and the husband shirt says broke. Gross. Like, are we not in a society where both of you are combining, like you're both helping the household? Like, it really irked me. I saw these people are standing behind me in line and I was just like, I don't know why it made me so mad. I think the gender norms, I think just like heteronormative crap of like, I'm the man, so I'm the head of the household. I just, no.
Yeah.
Maybe you thought it was a cute shirt,
Creepy.
but it's not cute. I don't think it's cute at all.
Yeah. It's,
Very creepy.
You know what, Jake, because, we're wedding photographers and we hear it at literally every wedding, it's in some speech. But the phrase happy wife, happy life boils Jay's blood like you wouldn't believe. He's like, well, what the fuck about my happiness? Like, why is it just the wife? And it's true. It's just like, why is that a thing? Why is that a thing, Yeah. Anyway, there's our explicit mark.
I must have just been feeling some sort of way because the two stories that I wanted to talk about of things that I'm just like, why is our society like this, happened in the same ride line. So it was the people with the shirts behind us. And then there was a woman in front of us with her two very small kids. We were getting on the Alice in Wonderland ride, not the teacups, but then there's another ride for Alice in Wonderland. And it was a 30-minute wait. Because I like look at the wait times before we get in line just so I can see how accurate they are.
That's a long time. Yikes.
Yeah, it is. Anyway, so her two kids are just like literally not. She spent the entire 30 minutes editing a photo story on Instagram. And I'm not even joking, the entire time in line. Her kids are not, she's not talking to her kids. She's not doing anything, but she's editing photos that make her family look perfect. And I was like, what the hell is our society?
Wow.
Like what?
Yeah.
And I watched her zoom into the photo like 18 times, like close to love handles and all that stuff. And I was like, you look gorgeous. Like, why are you doing this?
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Isn't that crazy?
Yeah. I don't want to, I don't want to be a negative Nelly, but I was just like, what? When I was at Disney World, when I was younger, like phones weren't a thing. So like your family just like talked in line. Mm-hmm. And these kids were like 4 and 3 or 4 and 6 or about that age. And literally, she like just ignored them the entire time they were in line, all the while editing photos that make them look like this like perfect happy family. And I'm like, the dichotomy here is just like, oof, I don't know.
You didn't run into Bailey Sarian, huh?
No, but I was looking because I don't know if I really know what she looks like in real life. But we looked at Chrissy and I were looking at her Instagram stories, and Luke was like, I wonder what that railing is. And then Chrissy's like, it's a small world. Like they're both Disney nerds.
Yeah.
But no, I didn't run into her.
Oh, I love her. I would have loved to see you run into her. But it's crazy that you talk about that, like, like the influencer moms that like I follow a few of them and I don't have any reason as to why I do. Like, I don't know why. I have nothing in common with these women. They're filthy rich. They have little kids. They, you know, like I don't know. I find something about their lives fascinating, but at the same time, like there's one influencer I follow, Krista Horton. I don't know if you guys know who she is, but she's constantly posting stories about that specifically and about how like influencers' lives on Instagram is not really what you see. And she's always posting like picture of my real face versus editing. So people like really get a perspective on what you see online isn't real. And I love that about her. I like that realness about her. But at the same time, you look at her feed and it's like fucking perfection, you know? It's like your family's gorgeous. But yeah, it sucks. It's like, it's so deceiving.
I don't even know how to edit my face in a photo. Like,
oh, me neither. I'm a photographer.
Oh.
Like, this is a professional job these people do. Like, it really is. It takes a lot of time.
Yeah.
Yep.
So true. Like Facetune makes it easy too, right?
Yeah, I feel like you just have to upload and Facetune to just do like an auto. Like, here's how we make you beautiful. I don't know.
I guess so.
That's so crazy.
It's so,
oh my gosh.
It's so ugly. Like, why is that even a thing? You know, it shouldn't be a thing.
Yeah. The only touch-ups, I have, what's it called? Snapseed? Is that what it is? And there's a little healing. And also Lightroom has it too. If I have a really big zit, I will cover that. Because, like, I would cover it with makeup, but I don't wear face makeup. Yeah. So I'm like, well, that's fair. Fair game. Yeah. Videos are different, though. You can't take it out of a video. Yeah. Like, I have a zit. But if I'm taking, like, a thumbnail, I'm like, oh, let's just quickly remove that zit.
Yeah, let's just
never there.
Clone stamp that little baby out.
That's different. I feel like that's a distraction, you know? Like, it's people will focus on that. But like some of these pictures, like when people do before and afters, I'm like, there was nothing wrong with the before. Like nothing. I don't see anything wrong with that picture at all, other than a few little wrinkles, which is so real. Like, it's not real that you're 50 years old and you don't have a wrinkle on your face. Like, Botox isn't even that good, you know? I don't know.
It made me think, though, like that lady that kept zooming in on her photo. I was like, how does she go about like looking at other people's photo on Instagram? I literally have never zoomed in on photo unless it's like a shirtless photo of like Anthony from Queer Eye, and I'm like, ooh, what's going on over here? But like, I have never scrolled through my feed and like zoomed in on photos to like find imperfections. So then I'm like,
neither.
How does she consume Instagram? Because I feel like if she's doing that for her own photos, then that's probably how she does it when she's looking at other people's photos. And I was like, don't do that. Just be happy.
It's obsessive. Yeah, I know. It's sad.
It's strange. And like, our brains must be like so messy up there, because I think about this a lot with my dogs. Like, if I'm ever just sitting there on my phone and my dogs are like watching me or like waiting or just sitting next to me, I'm like, wow, dogs like 20 years ago did not experience this. Just that thought alone is so weird.
I've never thought about that. Yeah.
I think about that too.
It makes me feel guilty.
Yeah. I think about that too, because Prime will not let me be on my phone. Like, if he's next to me and he wants my attention, he will literally paw my phone out of my hand. Yeah. Like, he hates it, and he hates the camera being in his face. Like, if it's in his face longer than a second, he like turns away. It's funny. It's like, I don't know. It's weird. Like, I don't think that they're probably so used to seeing them up in our face that when we do go to give them attention and we bring it back out, they're like, well, what the fuck? Now you're not going to pay attention to me, but we're just trying to take their picture. You know what I mean? They're smarter than we think, you know?
Yeah.
It's so weird.
What a world we live in. But Disneyland was amazing. California traffic, no thank you. I do not have the patience for that.
I know.
Woof. I just don't know how you can live there and deal with that on a daily basis. And maybe like you just get used to it, but I hated it. Every second of being on the interstate, 6 lanes of traffic, stop and go. I was just like, no.
Yeah, it's definitely not Phoenix. That's for sure.
I feel you.
That's the one thing we noticed too when we visited California was the traffic. It's rough out there. I feel like it's almost worse than New York. And New York is congested. you know?
Yeah. Oh, but it is a beautiful city, like Los Angeles and all that. Just like seeing the houses on the hills. I love that. I just like can't get enough of that.
They're beautiful.
Because I've grown up
So
everywhere.
beautiful.
It's been flat, and just like seeing these hills with these rolling hills with all these houses lit up at night. It's just like, I don't know. Love it.
Yeah, it's so pretty.
Oh my gosh. I miss the mountains so much. That is probably the number one thing that is so sad about living here. There's no mountains.
Oh,
Yeah.
I know. It hasn't hit me yet from like just visiting so much, because every time I would visit my mom in Arizona, like the first thing I'd notice is the mountains. Like it's just so, it's like a painting.
Yeah.
And it hasn't really sunken in yet, like how much I love them and miss them. But I can't imagine like how much you miss them, especially growing up, like living your whole life in them, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Like that drive to your apartment was like beautiful. So beautiful.
I know. Those mountains were so close. Like driving up Craycroft, incredible. The best view of those mountains. Oh my gosh. I miss it so much. And I would like drive that direction to go to a workout class like at sunset.
Oh,
Couldn't beat it.
No.
It was so pretty.
Yeah.
yeah.
Just driving in the city.
But now you have green. Green.
Now I've got so many trees that if there were mountains, I probably wouldn't see them anyway.
Yeah, that's true.
That's true. Yeah. They'd be blocked out.
Yeah. Yeah.
But that's it for my Disney.
Well,
Yeah. Did you have any other updates?
Not really. No. There was lots of beautiful plants at Disney, though. I was like, part of me is like, I wish I would have brought my camera to do like a plants of Disney, because there's.
Oh, so you did leave your camera, right? You didn't bring it. How did that feel? Didn't it feel good?
It did feel good, but it also felt like
I fully thought you were going to say that.
it also felt like there was like, oh, I just want to like capture this, but I took lots of photos on my phone and lots of like video on my phone.
Yeah.
So that's fine. But yeah, it feels weird though at some point. You're like, I'm doing something, but I'm not. So it was like kind of in the same mindset of that Instagram girl. Like I was just like, I should be capturing this so I can like, I don't know. But it was cool.
The ever like loving hardness of being a content creator. It's like you're constantly struggling with that battle.
Yeah. But I posted
film or don't I?
Yeah.
everything on Instagram stories. I'm pretty sure I lost followers just because people are like, this is a plant account, but
Oh, I loved it. I love seeing your updates. I was like, you guys are so freaking cute. I loved it.
I tried to consolidate multiple things on one story post, so it wasn't like story. But whatever. It was a good time. I loved Disney bounding. People really noticed that we were Flynn and Rapunzel for the first day, which I was happy about. The second day, I was Stitch and she was Lilo, and I had the big old ears on, so that was pretty recognizable. The third day, when I was Daisy, no one noticed. I get it, because I kind of just looked like I was in normal pastel clothes.
I loved that outfit though. That was like my favorite.
But I told Donald, because I did get to see Donald, I was like, I dressed as Daisy, where is she? And he just blew me tons of kisses and kept doing like little hearts with like his little hands. Something about seeing
off-duty.
Disney characters just turns you instantly into a child. Like we walked into the park and Mickey was there and I was like, Mickey! And I was like waving at him. Well, there's probably a full grown ass adult in there being like, okay, hi.
Oh my god.
Oh, I've been talking too long. Okay, I'm done.
You have not been talking for too long.
Okay, I'll go. I have been spending most of the week kind of planning out some trips in my head mostly, but me and Mia might be taking a trip to Tennessee to visit my aunt. Well, she's actually in Mississippi. She's in a small town like 30 minutes south of Memphis, which I don't know. Like, this is a question I should ask in my stories because I'm curious. If you've been to Tennessee and you've been to Nashville and Memphis, like which part do you like better? Do you like Memphis or Nashville better? I feel like most people like Nashville more because it's a bigger city and more things to do. But I think I like Memphis better. Have you guys been to both places?
I've been to Nashville, not Memphis. And I'm going to be honest, I did not like Nashville. The traffic was so bad.
Really?
Yeah. I mean, it was only for that. Driving in Nashville sucks.
Mm-hmm.
But other than that, it was great. But like driving there, hated it. Every second, hated it.
Yeah, I mean, the downtown area is a little much. Hold on one second. Okay.
Is Graceland in Memphis?
Yes. Yeah. So we've
I've
been
never
to
been to Memphis
Graceland.
either.
Okay. I took Mia to Graceland when she was younger. It was nice. It was fun. It was the first time I had been there, and it was pretty cool. Like, because I'm an Elvis fan, I like Elvis, and just to like see everything. But I like Memphis better because, well, there's Beale Street, and Beale Street's like the main strip. So you have all the old school country music and like lots of things to do. But I feel like it's more of like a more quaint area. Like it's smaller than Nashville, obviously. And there's like more things to do. I don't know. I just like it a lot. I like it a lot. So I think we're going to stay in Memphis instead of Nashville, which would be the first time we did that. But you know what I'm finding? I'm finding Airbnb prices are literally astronomical right now. Like they're so, yeah. And before, like we would be able to find an Airbnb for a much cheaper price than a hotel. And I'm like, what are we going to do in an Airbnb? Like there's no pool. We can't like, there's no like restaurant to go to really. Like we'll just be staying there. So I know that she would like to swim and I don't know. So now I'm like, man, are we going to stay in a hotel? Anyway, long story short, I think we're going to get a hotel in Memphis and see my aunt in April for spring break. So that'll be fun because I haven't been anywhere in a really long time. And I haven't been down there since before COVID. So it'll be nice to see some family. And
it surprises me that you still look for Airbnbs after you found a hidden camera one. Because for some reason, if I found a hidden camera like the Airbnb, I don't know if I would ever go with an Airbnb again.
Yeah, I know. I know. And that was in Louisiana too, Baton Rouge. Oh, that was awful. I know. But you know, like Airbnb is really good about things like that. Like I said, like they accommodated us big time. And it's never happened before. We've stayed at so many different Airbnbs and we've always had really good experiences. So I feel like that outweighed the bad. But yeah, I know it is. I'm definitely more conscious. Like I definitely scan the rooms when we get there, you know? Yeah. But anyway, I don't know. Oh. And then we're all, go ahead.
No, I was going to say the hotel I stayed at, they didn't do housekeeping, which I'm not going to be like, nah, they're not doing housekeeping. But also they didn't change any of the prices that you pay for the hotel.
Huh.
And I was like, if you stay for maybe more than 3 nights, they should change the beds and the towels just like once.
Yeah.
But no.
The towels at the very least.
Yeah, no, you could call and get deliveries. So that our fitted sheet wasn't staying on the bed. So I called and was like, the fitted sheet's just not staying on the bed. And that's kind of gross because it comes out and then you're just like touching.
No.
You know. And so we were leaving for the day. We came back. They had just laid new sheets on the couch. So for us to make the bed ourselves. And I was like, okay.
Is that because of COVID?
I don't know why that's because of. I think possibly, or I think hotels are changing that. Like I don't need my room refreshed every single day. But if you're there for 5 nights, I mean, it got like my hair was everywhere, you know?
Oh, yeah.
I was like, give me a broom at least. I want to sweep it up.
Give me a broom.
Give me a broom.
Sorry, your hotel thing made me think about that.
You know, I think that might be because of COVID, because where were we? We went somewhere and stayed somewhere too. And there was notes around the room that kind of was like, if you don't need it, don't use it. So like leave the do not disturb sign on the door or whatever. Like they were still doing it, but they were saying if you don't absolutely need it, don't use it. But I don't know. That's that's kind of weird. Or like give you extra towels. Like start you off with extra towels, you know? But then we're also thinking of maybe going to Florida for our anniversary. I know we talked about this on the podcast before about like how me and Jay were determining where we were going to go. And I think we're going to go to Florida. My stepdad's sister has a house out there in Naples. And it's close to the ocean. And I hear Naples is really pretty. I've only been to Florida once in my life. And I was like 5. And we went to Orlando. So like I don't really know Florida, but I mean, since I've gotten into plants, it seems like the place to be, you know?
Yeah.
So yeah, I think that we're going to start getting back into the vacationing swing of things because we've been out of it for so long. And I feel like now with COVID restrictions lifting and numbers looking really, really good and being, all of us being like triple vaxxed, I think that we should just do it. That's my take on it anyway.
Yeah.
Life's too short.
Get out, travel, see the world.
Yeah. Yeah, just be careful.
See the world.
See the world. Yeah. So I definitely have some traveling, like that's been on my mind this whole week. I haven't done much of anything else, to be honest. Like I was supposed to record a couple videos and, I have some in my bank to go up and I've just been lazy and it's just been one of those weeks. So next week I'll work. I'll work next week.
Yeah. I have like 4 videos in the bank just waiting. And I don't know why I haven't posted them. Like literally like why? They're there for me to just press go. All my videos from Chicago and I haven't. I just don't know what's wrong with me.
Keep the people waiting. Keep them waiting.
I scheduled our video though where I raid your plant collection. That's going up tomorrow. Although I think I might make it go live today instead.
Wait, didn't?
I don't know.
Oh, you had a video go up yesterday, right?
I think so.
Yeah. February
favorites.
Yeah,
but I'm trying to post more. I'm trying to post a lot of videos because I need that AdSense. Yeah, girl. I'm trying to make some cash, trying to make that vacation money. Trying to work hard. So, well, can I go now?
Yeah.
Anything else to say, Nicole?
No, Jay got me chicken nuggets, so I'm going to eat while you talk.
Okay. So, update for me. Well, as we were doing our pre-update update, I mentioned how I'm going to Ireland, and they were both Adam and Nicole were like, "Wait, what? When are you going to Ireland?" So, for any of my friends out there, since we're talking about traveling, I'm going to Ireland in May, and I'm super excited. It's my first time going to the UK, and I'm genuinely so stoked. Like, we're doing a road trip basically because Ireland is pretty small. Like, well, we're going to the UK side of Ireland, so we're not going to like Ireland, the country. We're going to like, I want to make the distinction because I think it's like a sensitive thing. Have you guys heard about that?
Yeah, I mean, I just remember the whole like bombings and stuff that happened in like the 90s or was it the 80s with
I don't know anything about this.
The Ireland Republic, whatever. I don't know much about it though because U.S. history classes are awful.
Yeah, we didn't learn much of anything. Well, a couple years ago when I was doing Indoor Jungle Directory, well, I still am, but when I was a little bit more intense about it, I made a highlight for Ireland indoor jungles, and it was a city that was in like the UK side of Ireland. And somebody was like, "Hey, just so you know, like this is a really sensitive thing for Irish people. Like that city is in the UK technically." So anyway. So yeah, I guess it's like a whole thing. And interesting trivia for all of us Americans who don't know much else about don't know much about other countries.
No.
I really don't.
So anyway, so we're going there in May and I'm super excited. It should the weather should be pretty good, I think. I mean, I think it's green year round. Hopefully it's not raining too much, but if it rains, it rains because that's what Ireland does. So I'm kind of excited. Like when I first traveled, I was very upset if the weather was bad. But then I started thinking to myself, like, well, who do I think I am to think that the weather would just suddenly be good for me on my little vacation? Like, that's so silly. The land needs water. So let it rain if it needs to rain while I'm here. That's been my philosophy that I've adopted. But anyway, beyond that, this week has been very warm. Like, speaking of the weather, like it's been 2 days ago, it was 80 degrees.
I saw that. That's wild.
Yeah. And then the day before that, it was like 72. Today, I think it's like 70. And then it's going to snow on Monday. So Awesome.
Welcome to March.
Welcome to March in the Midwest. It's just very confusing, but it's 2 days ago and it was, the 70-degree day and the 80-degree day. It was so nice because it kind of felt like Tucson in February / March because it was not humid, not even a little bit, but it was that warm and sunny. And I was like, I feel like I'm in Tucson right now. This is amazing. And yeah, it just made me a little nostalgic for those like fall and spring days in Tucson. Like I've been feeling a little homesick lately, like a lot homesick actually. Ever since I went to the Garfield Park Conservatory, I've been feeling super homesick.
Yeah.
And it sucks because it's so expensive to visit home and like I have to be strategic about my visits. It's just sad.
Yeah, I know. I
so
feel
I don't know.
I feel bad. I was like, oh, that desert room really gutted you. It really did.
Yeah.
It was
I don't know
rough.
if we've talked about I don't think we've talked about the trip like after it happened. Maybe we did for the Patreon episode, but like I definitely could have like bawled my eyes out. Like I was really holding back tears because I really wanted to just let it fly, but I'm not going to do that in public.
Yeah.
With my friend.
Well, I would have been fine with it. But like I'm that bad friend that didn't even think about that because the room is so intensely beautiful that I was just like, she's going to love this room because Arizona. And my dumb ass didn't even think about like the consequences of that. I was like, let it out, Becca, let it out. Oh, I'm gonna cry for you. But yeah,
I know. It just took me back to all those days wandering around the desert barefoot as a kid, like dodging the cholla. It was just very special. So yeah, I've just been super homesick and just trying to get outside as much as possible these couple of days where it's warm and like get shit done. So I have been building garden boxes for my garden and working on that, getting ready for the growing season. I started seeds. Pretty much everything has sprouted and I'm trying to grow annual flowers, which is the flowers that only live for a year.
Yeah.
For anyone who had no idea what that means, because I literally have just now gotten what that means. Annual sounds like it would come back every year.
It's very confusing.
Yeah, I always get that confused.
The perennials are the ones
very
that
confusing.
Stay. Yeah.
Yeah, perennials are the ones that stay. And I don't know anything about like the morphology of the word perennial. I'm sure that it makes sense if you know what each of those like little parts of the word means.
Yeah.
Anyway, from the outside looking in, I was very lost. So now I understand that an annual lives for only one season. So I'm growing them because it's kind of like a waste of money to buy them.
I know.
I mean, it's not. They're beautiful. But to me, I'm like, I focused mostly on annuals last year and they're all dead and not coming back.
Yeah.
I'm like, I feel stupid that I didn't. Anyway.
They're always the prettiest too.
But like,
you know?
Yeah, the perennials are never as fun.
I know.
But yeah, perennials. Anyway, I'm going to focus on perennials this year though, because I wish that I did last year, because if I did, I would have been like reaping a lot of benefits of my work. Like if I would have just planted the peony bush, even though it wouldn't bloom for a couple years, like maybe next year it would bloom by now, but no. So anyway, that's what I've been thinking about. And I'm sanding down a watering station that I'm making. I purchased it last season for my garden because I thought, oh, it'd be nice to have a sink in the garden to wash my hands.
Yeah.
Because I don't like having dirty hands. And then I was like, well, there's a hose. I can just use the hose. I don't need a whole sink. So
Sure you
I
do.
brought the sink up to, I mean, honestly, it'd be nice to, but I brought the rolling table thing up to my patio up at my house, and I'm going to sand it down and reseal it so that it's like watertight and all of that. And I had to endure hardware store bros multiple times this week.
God.
And it wasn't that bad. Like, I think that I'm getting the hang of it. I really do, because like, I don't know, if you're ever intimidated by men in a hardware store, well, first of all, I think that more like women, or let's just say, I think that more not straight men should, like cis straight men should apply to work at hardware stores, honestly, because anytime I go to a hardware store and I see like a woman or whatever, I feel really good about it. And I feel like it encourages people outside of the norm of builders, like men, to go and buy things because it's like so much less intimidating.
Yeah.
And like, I used to be so scared to ask for help, or like if a man would come up and ask me if I needed help finding something, because sometimes it's like a 50-50 thing. Like sometimes they're like really helpful and kind, and other times they're just so rude, but like like quietly rude. I don't know how to explain it because like they're working in customer service, but like their job in that moment is to make you feel stupid for being there. Like in their head, they're like, well, what is she doing here? This girl.
Yeah.
Like, and how I dress as well really, really affects how they treat me.
Oh, for sure.
Like if I'm dressed in like overalls, work boots, and like a work jacket, 9 times out of 10, they talk to me as an equal. But if I'm wearing like a little dress and sandals,
forget it.
Every single time it's like, what are you looking for, sweetie? Like, you know what I mean? It's just like immediately talked down to me, which I've learned to use to my advantage because, you know, it's a dog-eat-dog world. You got to figure out ways to use your assets for your own good. But
ask not what's that saying that you always say?
Ask not what you can do for the patriarchy.
Yeah.
Ask what the patriarchy can do for you. That has gotten me a lot of help. Be like, you know what? If I want to be helpless, I will show up to Home Depot wearing a little dress and somebody will load my wood for me.
Yeah,
Every
will.
time.
Yeah, they will.
But yeah, so I was getting like a polyurethane sealer for the table, and I like picked out a brush, and I was like, you know what? I'm just going to ask this question. And the guy, he was so nice, and it was the best interaction.
Wait, what were you wearing?
I was like, should I use...
What were you wearing?
Oh, I was wearing a beanie, a jacket, and some joggers. So I was dressed like not a girly dress girl. So maybe that's why. But anyway, I was like, am I supposed to use a brush on this polyurethane? And like, is this the right brush? And he's like, yeah, actually, that's the exact brush that I would have told you to grab. So nice. And I was like, cool.
Good job.
Score.
Score. Yeah. So I think that if you're intimidated by the hardware store, just go a lot and like learn the layout of the store. And it's so much less intimidating because you don't have to ask where something is. And utilize the online portal, like the online website, because Home Depot will tell you the exact row and like bay that the item is on. So not only the aisle, but also the section of that aisle.
It's like IKEA.
Saved my life.
That's great. Then
Yeah.
then you're not wandering, you know.
Yeah, Lowe's and Home Depot has that. Menards does not, which is sad. But I know Menards like the back of my hand because I'm there like every week. But anyway, I feel like I have infiltrated the I don't know what part of the world that would be, but I've infiltrated something.
I came across a TikTok the other day that made me think of you, and it was this girl who clearly builds stuff. You may have seen this TikTok because sometimes we're on the same TikTok. Yeah. But it's this girl who builds stuff, and so she put her camera like in one of the bays, and she was analyzing lumber. You know how you like look at a board to see
Angela
if it's
Rose
straight,
Home?
if there's imperfection. Was it her? I don't know.
Oh, because I've seen this.
But anyway,
it has to be.
there was like 3 different guys that walked by and were like, "What do you do?"
Yeah.
And she was like, "I build things."
Yes.
And he was like, "But like, I just don't see many people that look like you around here." Like looking at what I was like, "This is disgusting."
She was in a tank top.
Was it a skit?
She was in a tank top and like yoga pants.
Joggers, yeah, yoga
Yes.
pants, and she's like taking the big 2x4s out, and she's like seeing if they're straight, like all the things you're supposed to do, which, you know, as humans, people do that. But then just because she was who she was and looked how she looked, they were just like, "What do you do? Like, why are you doing this?"
Yeah.
Like, I don't see many people that look like. I'm just like, that's gross.
It's on her Instagram too.
But good for her.
She's amazing. I mean, she's so amazing. She literally she's building like this room for her kid right now. I follow her stories all the time. And that I'm sure that was her. Because the whole time you were talking about the hardware store, I was thinking about that. that video.
Oh
Wild.
my gosh.
And she says it. She
That
said
is
it
so
like
wild.
every time I go into the hardware store, this happens. And she set it up knowing it was going to happen, and it did. And it was just like unbelievable. Like,
But it wasn't even like workers. It was just like
Yeah.
customers that
Yeah.
were like approaching her. I was like, that's weird.
so gross.
So gross. And that probably doesn't even account for all the looks that she got too.
And she was so
Like, aside
nice.
from-
She was so nice, you know?
Yeah.
I would
Yeah.
have told them to go fuck
I
off.
honestly think that's like a huge reason why more people don't try to build and like do things like that, because it's so intimidating to be the minority in that situation, like the odd person out.
Yeah.
It's very awkward and like intimidating, because sometimes you'll get a nice person, but you know, a lot of the time you'll get someone super condescending.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that's why I don't like to buy, well, okay, I do like to buy wood from Home Depot, but I'd rather cut my own wood, because every time I've ever had someone at Home Depot cut my wood, their whole demeanor is like, what are you going to do with this little girl? Like this, you know, like this little scrawny dude who like got a 2-hour training on using the saw gave me the most ridiculous look. It was the most annoying conversation I've ever had. I'm like, do you even know how to like do anything with this wood? Like, why are you looking at me and talking to me like that? You know what I mean? It's just like talking down to me.
Yeah.
And I'm like, you probably, I mean, I don't want to assume, because I don't want to do the exact same thing they're doing, but it's just so annoying. Like,
Yeah.
I'm not the world's best builder, but I don't understand why
Yeah.
people feel the need to like make comments and judge. It's like when someone is trying to learn a new skill and the toxic people in their life, it's like, what is that crabology? They're like pulling them back down. Like, well, why would you even try that? Like, you're not going to be able to do it. Like,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
oh,
Yeah. For sure.
it's so toxic. So I love whenever I see like people outside of like, I don't know, just men working at hardware stores, because it feels really nice to not,
Mm-hmm.
you know. But anyway, so that's my little rant. And
Well, I'm excited for your garden. I'm really excited for that greenhouse. Like,
oh my gosh, the greenhouse. Should I give a greenhouse update? So
yes,
Yeah.
please.
I think I'm going to do that thing where I say this and hopefully it works out. But by the time that you're listening to this episode, I might be breaking ground on the greenhouse.
Woo!
And if I'm not, something happens.
So if I'm not, something happened. Something went wrong. Everybody needs to worry about me.
Like the macrame video, we got some DMs. Did I miss something? Where's the video?
Oh God.
Don't worry.
No, just my internet
It'll come.
failing me. Yeah, so that mid-March is when I'm thinking right now, like next week or the week after is when I can break ground, but I wanted to wait until the ground was like pretty thawed.
Yeah.
And these last couple days being really warm, I'm having some high hopes, but it's supposed to snow.
Yeah.
Like, come on.
It's still pretty frozen, and we can very well, dare I say, get snow all the way through the end of March. So I wouldn't hold your
and
breath.
April and May.
Well, not yeah. Let's not go that far. But you know, I wouldn't hold your breath. But you know, stay optimistic. I like it.
Well, like last year, I bought like all my flowers and had them outside, and then it snowed.
Yeah.
Do you remember that?
Yeah.
And like it killed like a bunch of stuff I bought. I was like, awesome, very cool.
Lovely.
And I went shopping for that stuff, I think in April, maybe even early May. No, it was April.
We got a
So-
snow late in the year last year. So yeah, I think you're right.
Mm-hmm.
It was like the first week. But it's funny because like my mom is already trying to get like we're going to be doing some things by our garden. We're taking it out and we're relocating it, and we're going to do more with the dog run. My mom wants to get some estimates, and she's like, should I call the landscapers? She's like, we got to start picking up the sticks and maybe we'll turn the water back on. I was like, Mom, you lived in Chicago for 58 whole years of your life. You moved to Arizona for 3 years, and you suddenly forget that it's only March 2nd. Like, come on. You just got to wait. I think the rule of thumb in the Midwest is to wait until Mother's Day to plant your flowers outside. So, and that's May. That's like the first week of May. So we still have some time, but that's okay. It's something to look forward to, right?
Totally. And it gives us time to grow them inside
Yeah.
and all that stuff. But a lot of my plants, I'm going to do direct sow outside, and I'm really happy. Like, my growing season might be a little shorter, but the plants will be so much stronger, like, a lot of the time. Like, I'm just not going to start pumpkins and cantaloupe inside. Like, I'm just not going to do that.
Yeah.
So that's all going to be started outside. And I'm doing a pumpkin patch this year. I'm very excited.
Oh my gosh. Okay, so I have to come down in fall.
Yay.
And we have to do
Yeah,
like
you
a
have
photo
to.
shoot or something in the pumpkin patch. Amazing.
Absolutely. Yeah, I'm really excited. It'll be fun. Adam, are you okay?
Yeah, sorry. I had a work email.
His face, if you guys could only see his face, he looked disgusted, annoyed, and all the things.
Oh, I'm sorry.
I knew it wasn't directed at me. I knew
was
that you were looking at
distracted.
something. Okay,
Just
but
see
I think
my
that's
little
all.
finger hovering.
Yeah, I think those are all my updates. Oh, last thing, I heard frogs singing last night, and it was the sweetest sound.
Really?
They're like coming out, then they're gonna get
From
frozen
the Poo
again and
Lagoon?
be like, "What the heck?"
Popsicles.
Blue Lagoon.
From the Poo Lagoon.
Oh, from the Poo Lagoon. Oh, yeah, they might be. They might have been coming from the Poo Lagoon. Actually, I don't know. We have so many tree frogs.
Do we want to
So
tell?
many.
Do we want to tell all the people what the Poo Lagoon is? Because do they know what the Poo Lagoon is?
Do they know? They might. They might know. If they follow my YouTube channel closely, they might know. But in Missouri, it's very common to have a lagoon, which is like a septic system that's just like a little poopy pond. And
It doesn't smell
if you
bad.
li-
It doesn't smell
I
bad.
like Poopy Pond better than Poo Lagoon. We've rebranded, and it's now the Poopy Pond.
It is now a poopy pond.
Adam has a great video on the Poo Lagoon on his channel, actually,
Yeah,
from our visits in
Lots
Missouri.
of lots of bullfrogs live in it. It's like a whole ecosystem, and it's basically just a hole in the ground, far away from our house on our property. And if you live on property like a couple acres, you probably have one in Missouri. And I think it's like an eco thing. I don't really know.
Imagine-
I honestly have no idea.
Lots of strong fertilizer in that Poo Lagoon.
Yeah, the plants around it are always just
They're
gorgeous.
incredible.
Yeah, we have to really, this year we really need to double down and like cut down the plants, because it's like out of code if you have plants growing around your lagoon, and like it's so fertile because of all the poopy, so they just grow like crazy. And it's also Missouri, everything grows like crazy. So yeah, we have to get a brush cutter this year, because last year I did not have time to maintain that with everything else.
Yeah.
So a lot of stuff grew. But like when we bought our house, there was like an entire forest surrounding the poopy pond. And it was so far out of code that our lender wouldn't let us buy the house unless they fixed that. So we told the seller, and they were like, okay. I mean, no matter what, they would have had to fix it because it's out of code. So anyway, our lender made them do that. And
They put a fence around it,
they
right?
did it.
There's a fence around it?
Yeah. Yep. And there's a fence around it. And then there's like a massive pile of huge trees. Like those trees were there for like 10 years minimum. Like
yeah, for sure.
this house has been out of code for that long. It's insane. They were huge.
Yeah.
And I think now it's just like a little ecosystem house, like a little lodge for the animal creatures.
Yeah, it's so cute. I love it.
That's a long catch up.
That's a 50.
This is almost a bonus episode.
That's a 50-minute catch up, y'all. 50 whole minutes. But hey, haven't lost any followers, so.
This episode is basically a planty catch up anyway.
Yeah.
So with spring like fake spring right now for us in the Midwest, but like with spring and things waking up right now, what are you guys noticing with your plant collections? What's going on over there?
Oh, man. Well, I recently did my first round of fertilizing, and I did a flush on all my leca plants and gave them a reboost of like my nutrient water, and the amount of growth is seriously unreal. Like when you visited a couple weeks ago, it was starting to come through. But my Hoya Rebecca bloomed in 3 different spots at the same time and put on a whole new like shooter of full foliage. I'm like,
Shooter.
or what do they call them?
Shooter.
Runners. It put on a whole runner, but like it wasn't.
Shooter. It's fine.
We're rebranding, and now it's called Shooter. There's like 20 leaves on that thing. I'm not even exaggerating. It was the best feeling in the world. I've never gotten that much new growth at the same time on one plant. It was crazy.
Well, that's exciting.
It really is exciting because this winter was a doozy. Like I lost a few plants. My plants were just in dormancy for a while, and which is expected. But I think it also has to do with like my heat mats too. It's giving off some extra heat on that side of the shelf, and they're loving it. But I'm noticing a ton of new growth, and I feel like I fertilized a little early this year. But I'm happy I did because, I mean, when you think about it, they're not outside. They're inside under grow lights all day on heat mats. Well, some of them are on heat mats. So it's like they're kind of getting that same weather all year round, really, you know? So I'm loving it. I have nothing but good stuff to report about my plants right now. So I'm happy about that.
Yeah. I mean, fertilizer is so important, and I came across a Reels or a TikTok or one of those things where this person was only using liquid dirt for their plants, and then they switched to, and they have most of their plants in soil, but they switched to the semi-hydroponic, like the nutrients that you and I use for our leca. They switched to that for like a fertilizer,
Okay.
like a low dosage of that. And their plants were just popping off.
Wow.
And they were just like so surprised by it. And I was like, yeah, because it's a fertilizer. Like liquid dirt is not a fertilizer. Yeah. And I'm not judging anyone who uses it because I know there's a lot of people who use like liquid dirt and Super Thrive, but that's not all your plant needs.
Right.
For nutrients and to thrive and to do all of the things. So it's just like, if that's only what you're doing, I promise you, if you find some sort of like all-purpose fertilizer, or even not even just all-purpose, like a specific formula, you're gonna see some great effects if you start using that on your plants.
Yeah.
Yeah. Very true. So since you guys both do like primarily leca, what does fertilizing look like for you? Is that just topping off nutrients, or do you use an additional fertilizer as leca users?
Well, for me, for my leca plants, I use my nutrient water and I add Super Thrive in my water, which I'm sure I think you do too, right, Adam?
I used to, but I kind of just got lazy and stopped doing it. I do that for like rooting new cuttings and stuff. Because when I don't want to like give nutrient solution to my new cuttings that I'm trying to root, so I usually water them with just water and Super Thrive. But yeah, that's all you need for like our leca stuff is just the nutrient solution, because that is all of the fertilizers that a plant would get from being in soil or that kind of stuff. Yeah. You know, I did realize after speaking with my friends, my local friends here, Jesse and Lydia, that I was like hyper fertilizing my Hoya plants because the dark red, like the first step, I give 10 milliliters per gallon. Oh. And then I do 5. Looked on the back, and that was the aggressive growth. I was using the wrong one. But they're all happy. That's just part of why my Hoyas are huge, because I'm just like pumping them full of steroids.
I was going to say, you're not doing anything wrong.
I mean, why stop?
Yeah. I use 5 milligrams, so half of the thing.
Yeah. But yeah, that's all I do. And then for soil plants, I use that Foliage Pro fertilizer, which is like a 936.
Okay. For my soil plants, I'm using something different this year because I am a sponsorship. So I'm trying something different, which is called Arbor. It's a female-owned company, and they're partnering with Walmart, and I'm excited about it. I don't know enough yet to talk about it, but so far so good. It's pretty cool. It's like plant food. They have like a bio insecticide and some other things. So, but in previous years, I've used Miracle Grow with Super Thrive, like just basic plant food.
Becca, are you full on tank super mix? Yeah. Is that what you use?
That's what I was going to use this year.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm a full super mix girl. It's the fertilizer from the company that I partner with to make De La tanks. And it's an organic fertilizer. It's really gentle. And it's like a really, really fine soil looking thing. Like it's almost like powder. And it helps. Like, the reason why I like it is because it integrates in with the soil that's already there and like gives long-term soil health and like feeds the microbes and all of that. Whereas I was previously using a synthetic liquid, and that just gives the plant like a shot real quick of energy to put out growth, but doesn't really give anything long-term. Which there's nothing wrong with a shot of growth. I think, you know, I might hit my plants with like a synthetic shot maybe, but yeah, I've been using the tank stuff and it's great. I mean, I've got 3 measuring cups, big, small, large, and big, small, large, big, medium, small, K. And I just sprinkle it on top of the soil, water in, and I am committing to doing it once a month. So whenever I give my dogs their flea and tick medication, I'm also going to fertilize my plants.
Ah, that's a nice schedule.
Yes.
Take care of all the babies at once.
Yes. Give your dogs preventatives, you guys, heartworm and flea and tick.
Mm-hmm. What about outside stuff? I know you talked about like your garden plans and like what you're going to be doing, Becca, but do you have any plans for outside of your house this year, Adam? Are you planting any more like cactus landscape?
No, not really. I need to get some of them into the ground, but I don't have any plans yet with that.
No.
Wait, Adam, can I shit on you?
Yeah.
When I was a kid, we grew bougainvillea, and it's so freaking beautiful. It's like everywhere in Italy, and it grows so great in Arizona. You should maybe get one.
Wait, what is it
on
called?
something.
Oh.
I need to look this up.
Oh, you said should. I thought you asked if you could shit on me, like you were gonna, like you were gonna, like make me feel bad about not planting anything.
What? I would literally never do that. Never.
Wait,
we actually had bougainvillea. Sorry, Nicole. What?
Bougainvillea.
We had bougainvillea in our backyard on the back wall, and we tore it all out because the pool. It was awful with the pool. Like the
you're right.
The fake petals that look like flowers, but it's just like a false flower. That are beautiful.
It's beautiful.
Yeah. They would constantly like fly into the pool, but it would be something to do in the front yard, you know?
Oh my God, this plant is gorgeous.
Yeah.
I'm shook.
They are so beautiful, and they are everywhere in Tucson in all the beautiful homes.
They grow very easy here.
Yeah. We had a huge one in the house that I grew up in. But I didn't even think about that. We didn't have a pool. Shockingly enough, we didn't have a pool. But
I feel like you had the yard for a pool too. You got a pretty decent sized backyard.
Yeah, my house. Wait, how do you know what my house growing up looked like? Have I shown you?
I follow your mom on Instagram.
Oh, that house.
Oh, that's not the house
in that house, Nicole.
Oh, okay.
No. I'm like, how did you know my childhood home? Did I post? Like, I know I didn't post that.
Never mind. Scratch that.
There was. I wish you could have saw the moment of fear on Becca's face. Like, wait, how do you know?
Because I'm like, if you know that, then other people probably know that, and that's weird.
The moment you find out your friend is a stalker.
No. Sorry. No, my mom does have a pool at that house.
Oh, she does?
It's a nice pool. Mm-hmm.
Oh, I remember seeing video in her stories of like the dogs running, or dogs? One dog? Two dogs?
There's 2.
Dogs running around in the backyard. And I'm like, oh, that's a big space. I'm shocked they don't have a pool. So maybe she just never posted the pool.
Yeah. It's a huge corner lot house. Like that house it's a really great house for like a developed area. Like I'd say it's like, I don't know if it's on half an acre, but it feels like really a big lot.
Mm-hmm.
There's like a whole pool section and then a whole grass section. And my parents water the grass with gray water. Mm-hmm. There's like a gray water hookup. So they have like a beautiful lush lawn. Mm-hmm. And if it wasn't gray water, I'd definitely be like, Mom, no grass.
Yeah.
But it's recycled water, so it's okay.
Yeah. Which is a huge thing down there, which is great. Like, because Arizona's scared, like it's starting to get scary down there with the droughts.
I know. Like low key, I'm kind of glad that I don't live there anymore because way too many people live there for the amount of water that is there. And I get very stressed about it. So I don't want to get into it. It's not that day.
Let's not.
I can't think about it. I can't think about the water shortage in Arizona.
We'll unpack that in therapy. Okay.
Yeah, let me unpack that later. Anyway, what were we discussing? Oh, your bougainvillea, the pool, how you need to plant some cactus. Adam, I'm going to shoot on you again. What if you planted a saguaro?
Yes.
I know. I would love a saguaro.
Oh my gosh.
They're kind of expensive though.
Very.
Yeah.
Unless you plant a little tiny one and then you don't really get
forever.
to see the fruits of yours. But we do have a Joshua tree in the front yard that's doing amazing.
Your Joshua tree.
Ooh,
I
good.
keep forgetting about that thing.
Mostly because I think that the neighbors they water their yard with sprinklers and one of the heads is jacked up and it just like sprays all over the Joshua tree, but I'm not mad about it because they're like watering my tree for me like every week. I'm like, okay.
That's what
I'm just going to go out there. I'm just going to go. I'm going to go break their other sprinkler heads and just
They'll never
point them
notice.
towards the house. Oh.
Yeah, man,
But yeah.
I just remember absolute, like every time I would visit my mom, I would be out there for like an hour just admiring the landscape and all of the different things out there. Oh, it's so beautiful. I'm looking forward to bringing all of my cactus outside, like really looking forward to it. I did a video and I can't remember if it posted yet already. I think it may have, about me like unplanting my cactus, my 2 little cactus gardens, my little mini ones, and just repotting them in separate pots. And now I'm looking at my collection and I'm like, ugh, I like it. I like all of my cacti in terracotta and how they all have their separate little home. But I'm like, these plants will look so good together, like in one big planter. But no, I don't know. Ugh, I have so many conflicting ideas in my head for my cactus collection that I don't know what I want to do more. But I'm excited to bring them all outside because that's when they grow the most, and it's just so much fun to watch that growth happen.
Yeah, I noticed a lot of my plants have been growing really well too because my Albo Monstera put out a new leaf. I think I looked on Instagram and I posted a photo on Valentine's Day because it was like my bae. So that was what, February 14th. Today is March 4th. And a whole nother leaf has come out and is starting to unfurl.
And she's big.
And I'm like,
she's big.
Okay.
Oh, your elbow.
Work.
Okay, your elbow.
The elbow.
Your tie put out
The tie
one.
constellation was kind of the same thing.
Yeah.
I was worried about my tie because when I left for vacation, the stalk was out. The leaf was not unfurled, but the stalk was like bending with the leaf attached to it. And I was like, oh, it's going to rip. And I was like, I need to climb up there and help it. But it's in my shower shelf. So that's like a whole task. And I was like, you know what, Adam? Just walk away. Let this plant do its thing. It's been doing its thing itself for many years. And I did. And the first, I came back, I said hi to Steve. And then I walked into the bedroom to check on that leaf. And it was already like open and not ripped and huge. And I was like, it did its damn thing.
Beautiful. Beautiful.
Yeah.
It looks like an amazing leaf. What's your secret, Adam? My tie and elbow haven't done anything. I'm so sad.
Fertilize?
Oh, gee.
I don't know.
Exactly.
All right.
People ask me that so much. And
sorry.
I just don't know what to. No, you're fine. I just don't know what to tell them because it's like everyone's like not with my tie, but like with the Hoya. They're like, "What is your secret?" It's just like abuse. I don't know. Like they all go super dry before I water them. I never keep water in there 24/7. I don't know.
Is it
I
the
don't know
same?
what my secrets are, but
Is it the same thing with your
working.
tie though? Your tie is so big, and those leaves are so pretty. Like, I mean, I see other people's Monstera elbows and like tie constellations, and of course I hate on them because they're so big and beautiful, but I feel like because it's so high up, like is it the humidity from the shower, do you think that they like it just really likes? Do you water it when you're in there?
Before COVID I would have said yes, but I barely shower, so I don't know.
Boy.
But when I water that one, I bring it down into the shower and just like soak it for a
Yeah.
long time and just let it flow through. My albo, I repotted a few months ago in De La Tank, so I think that probably is giving it the whole boost that it needed. But I still
Yeah.
fertilize it every time I water it with that Foliage Pro. So I don't know. I mean, I do get the better sun here, than you guys get in the winter.
You
so
really do. Let's just chalk it up to he lives in Arizona and we're in the Midwest. That's what it is.
Yeah.
No, I'm just kidding. You're a great plant
Chalk
parent.
it up to that.
yeah.
Oh my gosh. You are. I do need to, well, I did just fertilize it last time I watered, so hopefully something will happen, but I just recently put a bunch of my plants on planks, and so far, I mean, you have to have growth in order for them to even adhere, because it probably needs to be a new root, right? So I haven't had any new roots growing in, so nothing has happened. Although one syngonium looks suspicious in a good way. So
I think they're going to take
I just need to
off. I do.
Yeah, I think I need to tape it to the wood and then maybe something will happen. But I did receive like a small amount of pushback from people being like, well, how is this any better than a moss pole? Because for a plant to adhere to something, it needs to be very humid. And especially to this wood, it's not wet. So it needs to be very humid. And I'm like, that's very true.
Okay, that's what I was
But the
going to
thing
ask
is-
you. Is it wet? Do you wet them?
No.
Okay. But okay,
No.
that doesn't make sense, because like my philodendron composta, I never know how to pronounce that damn plant's name, composta partenatum, I don't know. It's on the wall and it's adhering to my wall. And my wall's, it's not humid in there. My wall's not wet.
See, that's where I'm thinking, because like plants will adhere to things just naturally.
They will.
I think I just need to tape them to like the new roots. I need to tape them so that they are like pushed up against it so they know it's there. And like I prefer the plank because I don't have to wet it in order for that to happen. With the moss, I would adhere the root to the moss all the time and nothing happened. Like
It would have to be
Same.
soaking wet, you know?
they have to be
And
soaking
it
wet all the
dries so
time. Like
fast.
yeah, the one time that I ever had a plant like truly interact with the moss pole, I watered that moss pole like every day, if not twice a day, to keep it wet. Living in Arizona, it was very dry, but like, so like I don't want to have to water that. I don't even like watering my plants. Like, why would I want to water a moss pole? So that's why I'm doing away with them. Not saying I'll never use them again. It's just the wood, I could just tape it to the wood. So that's my like perspective behind it. And yeah, I mean, that room does get very humid. It gets so humid in my house, we have to use a dehumidifier. So like, I think it'll be okay.
Yeah.
Oh, for sure it will be.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I think my house holds humidity so much, maybe because it's earth contact,
Yeah.
but it gets up to like 70% humidity in here, which is amazing. I'm like loving it. But Dan's like, why aren't you running the dehumidifier? We're going to get mold.
Yeah.
And I'm going to trust his little Midwest heart and intuition because I don't want mold in my house. But it's also like
Conflicting.
70% naturally.
It's so
Yes.
beautiful. Yeah.
Yeah.
Wait, so is your elbow? I know you cut your elbow, your top cutting to share because you're a sweet person. Has it grown a new little nubbin yet? Like,
It grew a new leaf. Yes.
okay.
Which is great. It did that pretty quickly, actually. I was shocked. But now that new leaf hasn't put out anything, and I'm like, come on, let's go. Like, I almost want to cut it again.
Yeah, maybe.
This
I wonder
summer?
if elbows are just very slow because when Rachel gave me that piece, like it had a little nubbin starting and literally an entire year, like there was no change. The leaf that was there didn't die. So I knew it was happy, but no growth. And then after that year, I started knowing growth, and now it's kicked up like big time.
Yeah. Yeah. I think, yeah, that plant has just, since I moved, it has not done that much. Like when I was living in my old apartment, it was very happy and it grew so many new leaves. And now I'm kind of nervous about it because the white margins are turning brown. It's getting so much light. I don't know. I don't know. I'm a little nervous
I
about
don't
it.
know why the white parts turn brown. Is it because it's too warm? Which doesn't make sense.
What, like why it happens like quickly?
Yeah.
I don't know. Somebody, like I've heard like not enough light or like inconsistent watering. I thought that those are the two things that I've heard. But yeah,
So
and
it's
like it will.
Well, it's probably happening because you're not giving enough light. Oh, it's happening because you're giving it too much light. Oh, it's happening because you're underwater. Oh, it's happening because you're overwater. It's like, ah.
Yeah. Which this reminds me, I had a TikTok get kind of popular. Not like popular by TikTok standards, but for my standards, it got like 13K in like a couple hours. I was a little, like every time this happens, I get a little overwhelmed, but it was a sassy video where, you know that Taylor Swift song where it's like, I've been on the park bench thinking to myself, hey, isn't this easy? Okay, so a bunch of people are like saying things that are easy or like not asking someone when they're having kids, hey, isn't this easy? Like that kind of thing.
Yeah.
The one I saw was like using someone's name spelled correctly because it's in the signature line of the email they just sent you.
I saw that one.
Yeah.
Amazing. So I did one that said not leaving comments on people's plant videos about, you know, what's wrong with my plant, basically. Like, my plant has a brown leaf. Why? And it's like, what am I supposed to do with that? So, and then a bunch of people got really mad. I'm not gonna say a bunch. Let's say 4 people left like rude comments or just like comments disagreeing with me. And they were like, wow, like this isn't it, sis. Like you should be thankful for these people who built a community for you, blah, blah, blah. They give you video ideas, XYZ. I'm like, it's giving what was she wearing, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
But like that is like, and I don't know, like the reason that the heart behind the post was there are like a million reasons why your plant could have a brown tip or a falling leaf. Like there's so many reasons.
Yeah.
I don't know. You don't know. What makes you think I would know? Like, so yeah, again, like with this like browning on my Monstera, like I'm not going to go message Adam on Instagram and be like, why is this happening? Because then Adam's going to have to be like, oh, well, what window is it sitting in? How often are you watering it?
Well,
do you fertilize? When was the
What's
last
your
time I put
house
out a new
temps?
leaf?
Yeah.
Like
that happens to me.
Oh my God.
Literally every time I post a video like repotting my plants, I'll get DMs of people that have just repotted their plants and then like their leaves are dying. And it's literally like, why is this happening? And I'm sorry if you're listening to this and you're one of those people that's left me a DM recently, but it's almost like you have to ask 20 questions to that one question just to even get the slightest idea of what's going on in that. Like, where do you live in the world? Let's start there. You know, like it's frustrating. It's just, but I feel bad because like new plant people think that there's just a simple answer for plant care. Totally. And it's definitely something that I did, you know, like I always thought that there was this solution to which there is, but you know what I'm saying? Like the simple solution. And it's really, there's not. There's so many factors that go into it. And it's kind of hard to explain that to people, you know, because then it's like you don't want to overwhelm them, but it is overwhelming if you don't know plants. So
yeah. And it's like, and it's not even that I'm trying to be rude by saying that. It's just that it doesn't help you or me.
Right.
It's at the end of the day, it's a waste of time unless I'm spending a lot of time trying to understand your plant collection and how you take care of things. And then that's an hour of my life that I use and I wasn't getting paid for it.
Yeah.
You know, like this is knowledge that I've worked hard to achieve and like gather, and I'm happy to share it. But like to give out custom plant care advice to every single person who ever DMs me, I'm sorry, I can't do that.
But
no
also
one can
it's
do
not
that.
doing anybody justice either, because it's like you can have all of the answers you can have all the answers to the questions that you ask, and you still give misinformation because you don't live with that plant. Like you don't know the care that it's been given, you know, ultimately.
Yeah,
so
exactly.
Yeah,
exactly.
it is.
So, and It's just another manifestation of people like using creatives and knowledge workers and not valuing their skills. Like people might not think that as they're doing it, but that is what it is, because creatives and knowledge workers are fundamentally underpaid, underappreciated, you know. It's just and people don't always know. I don't know. It's hard because as a 4, I don't want to assume anybody's intent because I don't want them to assume anything about me. So I'm aware, but really it just comes down to it's not helpful.
No.
I'm not going to give anything helpful. Like I can try, but it's not, in the end, it's more helpful for you to learn on your own. And somebody commented and was like, if you just Googled the question, you might actually find one of her videos that she's already made about the topic.
Boom.
Mic drop.
Mic drop. Anyway, that's my little creator rant. And I don't know. I don't want to, and I don't want it to come across like I take the audience for granted and I'm not willing to help people, because that's not it at all.
You listen, this is coming from the person who has a Patreon and does plant clinics once a month. So no, I don't think that anybody thinks that of you at all. You're right. It's not helpful for anybody.
Yeah.
The other day I was messaging someone on Instagram. You know, you can set up like custom responses or whatever.
Yeah.
Which I've never done, but I was messaging people. Like I went to message someone and it was basically just being like, and like telling them, well, I really liked something. But at the bottom of the message thing, it came up with like 3 options of like, yo. And I was like, okay, this would save so much time if I would just set this up.
Yeah.
You know, like, what's your secret? I don't know. But like,
Neglect.
I think about that a lot, is like, you know, the people who are saying like, oh, you should be grateful, which I understand that perspective. But on the other hand, like, think about it on our side, and not that I'm big at all. If you take time to do 10 questions of that and all the back and forth with those people, that's like a whole freaking day of your time.
Yeah.
Like, and someone who's a smaller account must be like, well, you should be thankful that someone's here asking you this question. But again, like, think about the time it takes you to answer a question if someone asks you, like, then times that by 10, 15, 20. Like, it's a lot.
And then,
it
like,
gets to be a lot.
Honestly, most of the time I get questions like that, I find myself Googling for the answer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, listen.
Yeah, someone sends me a picture like, what plant is this? And I'm like, I just like Google, and I'm just like, I don't know.
Yes.
I don't know every plant in the world.
But also, like, the people that comment you should be grateful is a really shitty thing to say, because it's just right away assuming that we're not grateful for this amazing audience that we have. And that's so far from factual. Like, I think that all of us are just extremely grateful for everybody that listens and watches and interacts through comments, you know, but yeah, come on. Do better.
Yeah.
Don't do that.
It's like people, like when people are like, well, you're a figure online, so you should expect people to give you mean comments. It's the same energy.
Yeah.
Yes.
Same
It's
energy. But anyway, I mean, that's like such a small part. And like most people, like they just don't know that. And okay, I will say, like, in times that I have messaged somebody back to like help them out, they're like, I totally didn't expect you to respond. Like, thank you. And that's nice too. Like, if you can send the message, but like, don't get pissed off if they don't respond, you know, like,
right.
And say thank you. Like, lots of people who I've helped, like, don't even say thank you. They'll just like the message and move on. Like, okay, cool. Like, you just used me for my knowledge that I spent a lot of time gathering, and then don't ever talk to me again.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
But like, if it's somebody who I message all the time and they're like, do you know why this is happening? I'm like so happy to help, because we're friends.
For
like,
sure.
We've talked before. It's a relationship. There's something established. It just hits different when it's somebody who doesn't even follow you and doesn't say thank you and just is demanding information. None of those people are listening to this podcast.
No, they aren't. But it does happen a lot.
It does. It does.
Yeah.
More than people would think. Yeah.
Yeah.
So then we become desensitized to, like, you know, people that are actually genuinely, they've already searched Google, they've already searched our videos, and they genuinely don't know the answer, and you know what I mean? But
yeah. And I don't know. So anyway, I guess a roundabout way of just saying thank you to you guys for like caring about us as people.
Yeah.
And seeing us as human beings and like valuing our knowledge and like collaborating with us.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
That's like the best.
Our last
And that's our listeners.
One of our latest episodes where we had the people give their help on their experience with pests, like it was so nice. I feel like every single one of them were like, thank you so much for your podcast and for like all the information you share. And I was just like, it feels so nice to just have someone say thank you. You know, it's just like, what?
Yeah.
It's so sweet. So yes, saying what Becca just said again, because that's what I do. I just repeat what everyone friggin' says.
Same.
We're so appreciative of you guys and how much you care about us as people and not just an encyclopedia.
Yeah, true.
Should we get some mouth sounds from Leo?
Always. Oh, he's licking it. Oh, that little tongue.
I have no idea what that sounded like.
Leo might be the cutest dog on the face of the earth, though. And I have puppies. I have my beautiful pups. But Leo has that face. You just want to snuggle with him.
Oh, and he will. Funny thing, Cooper, every time Daniel kisses or hugs me, Cooper like gets mad at him.
Prime does that.
He's like, get away.
Yeah.
Get away. And Daniel's like, she's my wife. Can I please hug my wife without you doing this?
Oh,
Prime will put his paw
Jealousy.
up on my lap and Jay'll be like, get your paws off my wife. It's so cute. Well, this is a long podcast, you guys. Wow.
I was just going to say, we really need to just wrap it up.
Wrap it up. Wait, before we wrap it up, can I say one last thing completely non-plant related?
Yeah.
Tonight's 2020 episode, Rebecca, Elizabeth Holmes.
Yes.
Elizabeth Holmes. It's going to be a really good one. They're talking about the new show on Hulu called The Dropout with Amanda Seyfried. Oh my gosh, I watched the first 2 episodes yesterday. Chef's kiss.
Oh my god.
That's all I have.
Your excitement makes me get excited for it. I feel like I want to watch it now.
That's all I have to say. So good.
Adam, do you have cable?
No, but I have my mom's login to her Dish network.
Same.
See, this is exactly what I did.
We used my mom's Dish network for like a year and a half during COVID. We were like, gotta cancel the cable. Can't afford it anymore. Mom, I need your username and password.
Yeah. So I got all the apps and I got the login.
Channel 7, 8 p.m. Watch Party 2020.
I mean, I just finished watching Inventing Anna on Netflix. So I'm like all into this whole like.
Wasn't that good?
I need to.
That was good.
Yeah, that was good.
She's a trip.
Last week, I watched 2020 for the second time, and I was texting Nicole the whole time. I'm like, of course they're from Missouri.
They were like down the block from
nuts.
you too.
These people are nuts. Oh my gosh.
There's going to be a 2020 episode on the people across the road from you and whatever's going on there. I don't know.
Oh shit.
Oh.
The ones with the guns.
Creepy.
And the shack, like the multiple living areas. I
Oh
don't know.
yeah.
I am still so confused about that house. Still so confused. And they have like a whole greenhouse. You know how many times I have considered asking them if they would sell it to me? Like somebody messaged me and was like, how come you don't just try to buy a secondhand greenhouse? And I'm like, listen, babe, I've tried. They're not like nobody sells them. I don't know why.
Because they're so valuable. Or most people that have greenhouses are like, no, hell no, I'm not parting with this one great thing in my life, you know?
Yeah. And also, it would be really hard to bring it to my house because bless you, Leo, my driveway is so narrow. I'd have to cut down trees, you know?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, you would.
Yeah.
Last thing, we have so much yard that sometimes Daniel and I get confused about what yard we're talking about. So we have the dog yard, we have the cut down tree yard, and we have the field yard.
When you have
Cut down tree yard.
When you have acreage, you kind of have to do that because how the hell are you supposed to know what part of the yard you're talking about, you know?
Yeah, because Daniel would always go, the back piece. But the back piece referred to the entire thing. He'd be like, yeah, the back piece, referring to the field yard. And I was like, okay. And then he'd say the back piece referring to cut down tree yard.
Is
and
the
I'm like,
the field yard where we took the couch pictures?
Yeah.
Okay.
Cut down tree yard is where the greenhouse and the garden are.
Okay.
Cut down tree yard.
Okay. It's all, I refer to it all as the tick yard.
The tick yard. Yeah. And we are approaching tick season. I'm not excited. I will admit. I have not missed them. But okay, I've got a poopy. I'm going to be honest. It's hurting. I got to go.
I love your humility.
I keep talking. I'm sorry. I need to shut up because I'm prairie dogging and it wants to come out.
Would you like one of us to end this so you can just take out?
I'll end it.
Okay.
I'll end it.
Go ahead. Poop it out.
It's time to add a little poopy to the poopy pond. Okay. Thank you guys so much for listening to this episode. It was equal parts fun, equal parts information, equal parts complaining, equal parts friendship and plant stuff. So hope that you enjoyed. If you like us going off topic, you should definitely check out our Patreon. We will have it linked in the show notes on our shiny, beautiful website, pottedtogether.com. You can follow each of us individually. Not Dude, K-N-O-T, Dude. My clean leaves is Nicole. And then I am De La Plants. And Potted Together. If you have any comments that you'd like to add to this episode, you can follow us on Instagram at Potted Together. Okay, I gotta go.
We'll talk to you next week.
Bye.
Bye.